There are tons of neglected planes in War Thunder, and Ki-102 Otsu might be a prime example of them. In-game, it was originally counted as an attacker without bomb ordnance or anti-armor ammunition. But it was later changed into an interceptor. But why? Long story in short, the devs just ignored the reports and documentation, thus changing its plane designation was easier for them. At this point I should point out that the plane and its flight model are relatively old and neglected, like the Mosquitoes for example. Back to the review. Ki-102 is a typical Japanese early rank twin engine plane. It climbs well, it can even outrun some enemies in a downturn, and it poses some heavy weapons. For a twin engine enthusiast, I bring you sad news about the main gun of Ki-102, 57mm HO-401. This cannon shoots only high explosive with relatively slow velocity of 495 meters per second. The high explosive shell has nice TNT load of 250 grams, but there is something off with the damage it deals. Don't worry, you still have two semi-reliable 20mm HO-5s backing you up. Anyway, try to climb in the beginning of the game and take advantage of the 19.5 meters per second climb rate, which is pretty good for a heavy bird like Ki-102. Then try nailing down first bombers with a small dive if possible. I could suggest diving for a boom and zoom strikes after the bomber hunt, but take care as Ki-102 tends to lose its energy. Try to avoid head-on fights as those require good roll rate, which Ki-102 lacks. Nevertheless, most of the time head-on is a one-way trip for you and the enemy. Your pilot might survive it, but the engines and your plane are a far different story. Take a look at this armor. As Ki-102 is actually an attacker, it is heavily armored. But it's still a Japanese plane, so if someone sneezes at your unarmored engines or your wings, you'll be on inextinguishable fire. Speaking of attacker role, don't go ground pounding in air RB with it. High explosive can't harm pillboxes or tanks, and you'll be hunted down in seconds, and the rear gunner's MG won't do much of damage against these hungry seagulls. Also, no matter with what nation you pair up, there are possibly far better attackers in your team. Would I recommend it for ground RB? Currently, no. In the future, yes, if it gets ordnance, or possible anti-tank ammunition for the 57mm gun, which I kinda doubt. For naval, no. You'll get shot to pieces before you can get the enemies on the range of your guns. Is Ki-102 a good plane at its current in-game state and VR? It's debatable. At 3.7 you'll find Ki-108, which is far more better plane on all aspects. You'll get faster firing 37mm gun which has great velocity, and the plane itself has an excellent high altitude performance for a twin engine interceptor. Free advice, preserve your sanity and play to win. Victory always over for a few measly kills.